welcome back everybody to the last day of this week's LCK, and we'll be joined by Changyeon Lee, Lyra, and Victory for today's analysis. And this is season with the translation, and Hanwha Live took on DAMWON Gaming. The two teams with the completely different momentums. And DAMWON Gaming managed to get a stomp win up against Hanwha Live Esports. Both teams were able to pick up their comfort picks. Maybe it's more like DAMWON Gaming letting them get the picks that they prefer. For example, like Galio or Miru. So DAMWON Gaming, they were able to exert their pressure on the top side with the counter picks, and also they were also able to get Pantheon, one of the favorite picks from Vero. And you know, having this comfort pick on the side of the stronger team and having this comfort pick on the lower level team is a bit of a different theme going on. So sometimes when strong teams are going up against the underdogs, they open and let through some of the OP picks on the side of the lower ranked teams. They counter it with some of the lane priority champions, for example, like Twisted Fate. And this time around, Hanwha Live Esports, they were also able to get their comfort picks as well, but DAMWON Gaming, they are focused heavily on the laning phase, and they were able to shut down the game even before Hanwha Live Esports was able to exert their main theme of the competition. And we had a very ironic moment coming in this game, and Rek'Sai was able to get the first blood. This kind of first blood or early gank is too obvious, to be honest. So Miru was pretending that he was placing a ward, but because they DAMWON Gaming had a ward on that side, they kind of expected that the ward would be around those area where the mouse is pointing at. So Rek'Sai just cleared the full camp on the left-hand side of the jungle. And then he took a detour to avoid the potential ward over there on the left-hand side of the mid lane. So he successfully goes into that rush and made a very easy and clean gank onto Galio. Miru played some mind game over there and showing some fake motions to kind of fool the DAMWON Gaming players, but Canyon still was able to pull off a very easy and obvious gank. The typical Rek'Sai early level gank. Well, if they were to kind of pretend some kind of action is going on, the first plan should be kind of zoning out the opponents from pulling off some of the typical and classical plays. Because we have been seeing this kind of a very classic Rek'Sai gank coming in all throughout the split. You know, Hanwha Live should have been a little more aware of this kind of jungle pathing. However, Hanwha Live Esports was also able to pick up some kills to even out the momentum, but we had this game-ending moment or huge turnaround for DAMWON Gaming. It was too cruel, but we want to point out that this was about the game skill level difference. All of the skill goes wide, and Galio also got interrupted by Showmaker with his dash. And then on the other side, DAMWON Gaming, they were so clean allocating their skill shots, and the bottom duos on the side of Hanwha Live Esports, they all had the stopwatch, but they weren't able to activate it. Hanwha Live already had some visions around this dragon, and Nuguri and Showmaker was looking for a base tempo actually. So Hanwha Live Esports at that point has some priority for the dragon fight. And Hanwha Life, their comp was about answering some of the dive attempts coming out from DAMWON Gaming, but they were a little bit too hasty, trying to open the team fights. Because players have this kind of mindset that we are a little bit behind, and at the same time, DAMWON Gaming was really confident, even opening some of the OP champs and favorite picks over to Hanwha Life Esports. Those kind of mindset was also reflected into their gameplays. Then let's check out the player of the game on the side of DAMWON Gaming. Everyone was really popping off, but we've got the monster, the beast over here, Showmaker. Double thumbs up going over to him. 800 POG points and plus 40 CS at 15-minute mark, plus 4K gold at the end of the game. Silas was really popping off and showing off really strong, but Bill and Kenyon was also doing a great job supporting him. Especially Beryl also had some clutch fight coming in with the opponent bottom duos. DAMWON Gaming, they're just too good, so they are keep repeating this kind of confident moves. So even though at some point of the game, sometimes they have a very 50-50 fight up against their opponents, but still, it always ends up DAMWON Gaming closing out the series somehow, some way. Tied up at the second place with Chovy, and we have 3 premier mid laners on the top of the board. And well, as the analyst mentioned, Kenyon was doing a really good job supporting Showmaker on the mid lane as well. So we also appreciate his super play and outplay. Now it's time to move on to game number 2, Hanwha Life Esports versus DAMWON Gaming. Let's find out whether they can keep on this to a record going on.
Thank you very much, Jisun, for the analyst desk translation, and also thanks for trying to justify Valdez's silly choice in Canyon. It's obvious.
The right
Showmaker
choice.
Man.
The right choice.
No. Stomped his lane, did everything he needed
to Canyon.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's
so he got the first
jungler's job,
and then he also was perfect position to counter gank. So he got himself and Showmaker fed. By the way, we're having a totally new sub come in. It's Youngjae.
Yeah, this is the third jungler here for Hanwha Life so far this season.
Might as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just get them a little bit of experience. I don't know whether this is the best kind of experience. It's like throwing him into an inferno.
Yeah.
Not very fair.
It's throwing him into the volcano.
Yeah, right.
Not just the fire.
Oh, dear. Well, Canyon, you can see he's looking very calm and collected. But he is a bloodthirsty man underneath all of that.
He's like a very calm polar bear, but you know, polar bears are actually ferocious.
They are quite aggressive.
If you come into contact with a polar bear, you can't do anything. You just die.
Especially if you're a seal.
There's a thing where it's like the black bear, you try to, you know, pretend you're big or whatever and fight. Brown bear, you try to play dead. Polar bear, you just die. There's no way to counteract the polar bear.
And that's getting worse as well with global warming. You know, they're getting hungrier and hungrier.
They're gonna come south.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're going to start, you know, going into your house. No, they're not. Don't be too scared about polar bears, especially, you know, if you're in the southern hemisphere or something like that.
But be scared of Canyon.
Be scared of Canyon, 100%. I don't know why I decided to try and freak people out with bears. Galio is going to be banned this time around as DAMWON moved to the blue side. They'll ban the Karma this time as well. I believe Karma was let through entirely. Last game.
Yeah.
Not exactly the prio for either of these teams as Zoe and Twisted Fate. Once again, going to be the bans here for Hanwha Life. They've decided that Showmaker needs to be put down, and look, I agree with them, but I just don't know whether it's going to be enough. As Ezreal is the final ban here for DAMWON.
Volibear.
Oh dear.
Let's see it. I mean, there is... What do we have left here? We have Set, just like Kalista available. But Volibear is so often first picked, and it is Canyon who is very comfortable on it. They're thinking about the Set, though. Maybe going to prioritize that above Volibear, and there you go. It will be locked in.
Yep, so going for more flexibility. This is an absolute no-brainer, just lock in the Volley Bear here, but they could also just get the Ashe, as they're going to hover it immediately and lock that one away very quickly, making up their mind on the side of Hanwha Life. And now, let's see what DAMWON want to do as far as bottom lanes. They do like the center. We've seen this a lot, picked into the Ashe, for better or worse, to be perfectly honest with you. But this is DAMWON, and they are definitely a center team. Being able to advance barrel is definitely a good idea, but it looks like Naga is just going to go for some comfort here and some color coordination with his set. As this could, of course, be in the mid lane still. We are certainly still flexing. And now we're going to continue flexing, as the center being considered as the third pick here on blue side for DAMWON.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Obviously, all picks that we have seen a lot of from the side of DAMWON. And we've already stated that they kind of can just do whatever they want and feel pretty good about it. The Wukong is going to be hovered here and will be selected to go into the top lane. You would imagine it can kind of be a bit of a, takeaway pick as well.
Yeah, I think the denial is the most important thing here.
Yeah. It's also, I think it's something that it's Dudu's most played. Well, it's tied with Renekton and Mordekaiser, but he has played 4 games of Wukong. And so it's kind of good in many aspects for sure, that pick that comes out there.
Yeah, we'll see what DAMWON are going to decide to ban away here. Might just be supports they could look at for that bottom lane. Certainly taking their time, though, looking through the list. It is going to be Brad.
Bardicus.
Indeed. I think just getting rid of any sort of, lane-dominating champions is a good idea. But Lands has a very deep champion pool, so likely that he will be able to still find some success. Have a look. Karthus to be banned away from Canyon. Certainly is a lot of physical damage on DAMWON's side, so I think it's a heads-up ban. Canyon also one of our better Karthus players. I think him and Spirit certainly do hold that trophy at the moment.
Yeah, it's really important too, as you mentioned. The AD carry they have stacked already, but also a lot of solo lane potential for those picks that, you could see Jace top and set mid if you wanted to go for that, or vice versa.
Yep.
So they're kind of, they're trying to force maybe Beryl to pick up that set, or maybe at least Canyon to pick up some less common AP jungle, which, I mean, it is Canyon. I do have some confidence that he can pilot it, but let's see what he ends up going for. Sylas is going to be the pick. We don't have, I mean, you can, of course, show stop a bit.
Yep. I do like the denial of Kennen that you can sort of get by just picking Sylas. I love Kassadin from Sylas, though. That is a fantastic decision here from Showmaker. Can't stack a Rift Walk that you can only use once. It's sort of how that one works. So the hijack pretty much denied. Just gives him an extra flash. Not going to be for that extra damage. It's like a worse version of hijacking a, distortion from a LeBlanc or something like that. Canyon's going to go back to a pick of old here, and the Olaf is going to be locked away. A little bit off theme, but does work fairly well with the center. Is that
Soraka?
Okay.
Literally, Soraka. LS is with us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's really interesting. Definitely something that can survive in that set lane down in the bottom side. It has Ashe to support it very well, and I think the Soraka is also really good against Kassadin because you can thread on your silence and try to burst him down. Also, just the heals in general will be able to stop some of that burst damage coming out from a lot of the champions on the side of DWG. I don't mind the pick at all here.
I don't mind it. I feel like it is going to struggle a little bit into Mr. Olaf. If Canyon does get some advantages, then, the Soraka becomes kind of free food that he just runs at and kills. But if they can keep their tempo up on the side of Hanwha Life, certainly will be able to utilize this one. And like you say, any way of shutting down Showmaker is a good idea. It's currently 100% win rate on this Kassadin. Certainly has been one of his best performing champions. I think his KDA is something absolutely ludicrous on the pick, or maybe it's undefined. I don't know whether he's died on Kassadin yet.
He may not have. And this is also the champion that he picked up a pentakill on.
Yep.
I was joking before the broadcast, I'm like, yeah, he's probably just going to, you know, go for Cassidon and have some fun, maybe casually pick up another pentakill on his way. And who knows? I mean, it could happen again here. We got a new rookie jungle in the lineup now with Youngjae picking up the Volibear. Should have a lot of practice on that pick. It's very popular nowadays, so curious to see how he does as well.
Well, a lot of denial picks coming through from Hanwha Life. We'll see whether they are going to work in conjunction with one another. You saw the Wukong be picked up to get it away from the center lane. You saw the Sylas picked up to deny things like, you know, Camille. I mean, stealing that ultimate is very, very valuable, but Cannon mainly for that blind pickable top lane. And so we'll see whether Hanwha can make things work. As DAMWON, they just have a lot of comfort, just very happy at this point in time. And I actually really like funneled Set. I feel like Set needs gold in order to make things work. And now Beryl is going to be on a support Set that has just so many more tools at his disposal. A much earlier Deadman's Plate will be coming in, and he'll be able to zip around the map as much as he would like.
Yeah, picked up the Ignite as well, so a little bit of focus into the lane up against the Soraka, of course. Not going to go for any other kind of a defensive summoner. So if Hanwha Life wanted to try to get aggressive, obviously there wouldn't be any kind of heal or exhaust to try to peel off some of the pressure that Hanwha Life could put on. So we'll see how Hanwha Life do want to play around that, if at all. If Youngjae is going to show any pressure down towards the bottom side, as they're right on the ward, and they somehow knew exactly where it was. Yeah, he's going to get the 2.
Oh, this is mega high value. As Beryl does clear that one out. So 2 CS here for the Set already as he walks into lane. Might not be able to get the experience here for this particular minion, but I think he may have. As Ghost, Piercing Darkness over on top of Lehens, but this lane is going to be difficult for DAMWON. Like, this is just a lot of poke. And Set is going to have basically the worst time ever.
This was one of the things I did not mention is the range support into the melee support. Obviously, going to have a very good time. Also offers some sustain, whereas, you know, the Senna will have some herself, but Soraka will have even better.
Also, Senna's auto attack animation kind of sucks. And so if you're there autoing a minion, the Starfall is much easier to land from Lehens. Hadn't really thought about that interaction. It does make the Soraka feel like a really good choice into Senna. Oh. Showmaker misses that CS. Very unlike him.
Doesn't look like he went for the attack speed rune.
Yeah, that's a shame. He does have fleet footwork, so just the classic Cassidon choice here. But I don't think he also took the Alacrity ability either. As that's a double snare, high value. Last time we saw Soraka in support was 734 days ago, guys. That's over 2 years. That's insane. Because we did see a lot of Soraka last season, right? But she was played top lane. She wasn't played support.
Yeah. But I thought that, you know, the flexibility, we would have at least seen it once.
Yeah, right.
I guess not. 734 days, that is a really long time. That's basically 2 years. And, wow. So, 2018.
Well, Youngjae's going to make his way in. Cassidon, not level 6 yet, so has to flash. As in comes Canyon. He's going to find an axe onto the volley bed. So much damage, and he's just dead. Nothing that he can do as he flashed forward to try and get Showmaker. Now Miru might be falling as well. The Undertow's going to short. That one's not, but still, Miru's going to have to go back and teleport into this lane. And DAMWON again find themselves a first blood as Lehens is going to get ignited. Piercing Darkness there again. Good exhaust onto Beryl to make sure Lehens is going to survive, as Viper might want to auto Beryl a couple of times, but was just predicting the Haymaker. And DAMWON do lose out in this bout of bottom combat that we just saw.
Bringing out the bottom combat again. Mm-hmm. I like it. Yeah, and that lane is just really strong from the side of Hanwha Life. And you can see that DAMWON are trying to skirmish as best as they can. I mean, it didn't look so bad for what they're working with, I guess. But after all, it's still going to be very difficult. And you can see that the Ashe is going to get very far ahead. Nuguri has obviously played a ton of Jace. 23 and 10. 69.7% win rate is Not bad.
Not bad at all. As Miru, he's struggling here a little bit. Remember, Showmaker got double buffs, so... yeah.
And the kill. First blood. Kassadin.
I think if Hanwha could do a mid-game jungle switch, maybe we'd see Youngjae removed after giving double buffs to Showmaker. I think that's the biggest party foul you can make up against DAMWON.
Yeah.
Especially because that will allow him to get freely to level 6 and have very consistent safety as Noguri playing away from that brush. I believe he knows exactly where Youngjae is.
Yeah.
As this huge minion wave is going to mean that there's nothing that the Volibear can do anyway. Noguri will now just start harassing Dudu down underneath this tower. And yeah, it's just not very fun laning against Noguri's Jace. Even if you kill him, he just comes back stronger.
Yeah, the power spike. Oh, man. Yeah, there's a lot of little things that happen in pro play that I think most of the time go overlooked. As I'm going to have to hold that thought.
Yeah, that's a flash face breaker as Canyon's going to find the undertow onto Youngjae, and the bear is once again put down. Beryl grabs that kill on the support set. And meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, Ghost is just fine pushing a minion wave into Ashe Soraka. That's pretty impressive, as now Dudu going to be running away from this turret. Showmaker, he has level 6. Rift Walk will be available, even if Flash isn't, but not going to be able to catch up to Dudu this time. And he is going to have to go back. No teleport. Plate's going to be available here. Actually, no, decides to cancel. Gives away 1 plate, but otherwise we'll be able to get here in time to get a bit more of the added CS. And with Youngjae recently deceased, Canyon just moves on over and takes himself this Mountain Drake. And I think I've seen a game like this before. It happened a few minutes ago.
Yeah. It feels like Youngjae and Miru were trying to set up a similar play to what happened to Miru in Game 1 with that early gank, and was a little bit aggressive, right? He had to flash in for it, and when you do that and you don't know where the enemy jungler is, you have to back out of the lane, straight back through the lane. You can't just go straight into the river and hope that the enemy jungler is not there, so... Gets caught out there, maybe a bit of nerves.
That's a flash. A very comfortable flash. Viper only level 5, not able to get any arrows in there or anything like that, as Miru's going to miss the chains. And grabs himself a pretty nerfed Rift Walk, but still adding to Silas's mobility is always a dangerous prospect, so it's not terrible.
Yeah. And they were trying to shut down Showmaker before, you know, he got started. That's kind of like the solo queue mentality, right? Gank him before 6, don't let him snowball, but they did the exact opposite and gave him double buffs. So yeah. Showmaker's kind of just going to be, you know, rolling all over this map.
Now he needs to get a pentakill before 15 minutes. Because he got it before 20 minutes last time. That was impressive, but...
New records.
Yeah, we need to... it's all about increasing the impressiveness of how he's playing this one as Ghost. Trying to get what harass that he can, and we'll hold the minion wave in this position. As, yeah, Showmaker with a blue buff and just having a really good time. Did he just shoot an Eye of Kilrog at Miru, by the way?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Except it's targeted. You don't really get to control it.
Yeah, that's right.
And it does damage to your enemy. That would be pretty interesting.
Would it be pretty cool if it summoned Voidwalkers, tell you that much. That's a wild joke. We probably shouldn't be saying that. As Ghost picks up a bunch of these little things on the ground to increase his money intake, as that Facebreaker was max range, and Lehens is now in so much trouble. A late exhaust, and the arrow will connect onto Ghost as the Dawning Shadow does fly through. A long, long stun. And Ghost is going to have to flash out. So that is a very susceptible Senna here on the bottom side, as Hanwha Life are going to answer back. This lane is very strong.
I think that would have just been a straight-up kill if Ghost waited to shoot out his root until the Facebreaker came in.
True.
But, yeah, he got a little bit antsy, and it was just barely not able to hit the max range. So, not able to lock that down, and even Ghost had to flash away from that one. Doesn't particularly matter because... I mean, the rest of the map is doing so well, but at the same time, Viper does have a massive lead over Ghost in the bottom side. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that and see just how out of hand that bottom lane is going to get. For now, he's just about 400 gold ahead over Ghost.
The thing that I'm scared about is that as soon as the Ashe comes out of the laning phase, it's going to be a rough time. As Noguri finds that, that Shock Blast, very impressive onto Dudu, but they're not going to go for any kill or anything like that. They're just going to push the Wukong once again out of this lane. Canyon's standing on a ward, but he's just going to throw down Shelly, and they're just going to deny so much from Dudu unless he's going to try and wrestle his way back in. Youngjae turns up, and that should be another turret plate. No, Canyon actually decides to hold on to the Rift Herald as well, as Dudu, oh man, this is getting real dicey.
Showmaker, in the meantime, he was thinking about going top, but he was spotted. And then he saw that mirror wasn't mid, so he correctly identified that he was going top. Took the Rift Scuttler and then pushed the wave, and now he's going to rotate up top. So kind of delaying that to
this is
get
absolutely
more power and value.
This is just time wasted as well.
Yeah.
With the fact that he just moves around in a circle in the mid lane, and DAMWON have so much map control with all of their vision topside. Like, Showmaker stacking up this Rift Walk as in goes Miru with his own. Didn't do a lot of damage, as you saw, but they're just teleporting around the lane. This is, it's like playing an online game with very high latency by the looks of things. You know, like everyone's just teleporting around.
Yeah. Ooh. Feral's not having as much fun as he did in Game 1. He was still able to just casually roam into the enemy jungle, while somehow Senna pushed 1v2 against Ashe Soraka earlier on, but the laning phase is built to not be fun. As
arrow avoided. Nice work there by Ghost. Extra movement speed by getting underground. Works out. Viper still doing a lot of harass. This is working out quite well, but only one plate has been taken so far. Very close to getting their next one as Canyon is over here, just eliminating this Golem camp for now. As we're watching this, looking out for all this bottom combat, because this is where Hanwha are going to be able to potentially find an advantage. The rest of the lanes are done. It's basically over.
Yeah. I mean, at least Dudu didn't get absolutely clobbered, right? I think it could have been worse, but at the same time, as we were remarking on before, a lot of his other lanes in his jungle had to give up a lot to help him stay afloat. So it's not necessarily a good thing, even though it looks okay on paper. And Olaf just picking up 3 dragons. The jungle difference right now in the game is pretty massive. There's not really much that Youngjae can do after getting so far behind in the early game. And so we're just giving up objectives. We're giving up map control. And, well, they're looking to go top. Nuguri smartly going to back away for just a little bit.
Yeah, but then he did see them on vision, so no issues there as Canyon's going to move on in. They're looking for Mirror. That's a pretty short Rift Walk. He's still going to be able to get to the safety of his turret. Silas is going to be okay for now. Noguri, you can see, gets a control ward over, and now he's going to know that he's not going to get dove.
Showmaker is almost level 11, and it's Infernal Soul. And he got a super early Roa with his first blood. He's now 1-0-1 with a tier stacking up. He might just be able to 1v5 as this game comes along. He is remarkably far ahead.
And there are some old stats, because Kassadin used to be the pick ban champion, right? This was a long time ago, very, very long time ago. But I still remember that if you're looking at a Kassadin, if he gets to level 6 and he's like 15 CS behind, you're like, nice work, dude. Nailed it. Got through the lane. Things are great. That was a flash.
What?
As we're going in here on the bottom side. This bottom combat situation is just getting ridiculous. As the dive on the top side is going to work out as well. Dawning Shadow going to take a little while to get there, but it's a 1-for-1. Viper falling down bottom lane, and Noguri one step closer to the 0-2 power spike.
Yep, they were angry down on the bottom side, and they finally called over their big brother to beat up the bullies that were bullying them in the school, as now they're trying to wrap around here and get on top of Miru.
This might be Showmaker getting ahead of Chovy, which I don't think LS is going to be very happy about. As Miru going to get a Ragnarok, but you can see Canyon still chasing after him. Great slow comes in, but that's a Ragnarok target, so it's not going to work. Flash forward, Undertow's going to be there. Canyon going to wrap around. They're looking to get Dudu as well. He was already thinking about it before the Silas was dead. Lahen's moving on in, no mana onto Dudu, but at least he has enough to get out that decoy and go for the escape. Showmaker now just throwing out Teemos and not giving any at the same time.
Stop bully Bible Thumb. I feel so bad for Youngjae. Oh, he comes in, and we knew this was going to happen, right? We were like, yeah, they're throwing him into the Inferno. Yep. This guy is pretty, you know, he's not going to have a fun time. And that is exactly what is happening here. They just don't even care about him right now.
That was his actual flash.
Yeah, he just flashed the wall. He's like, yeah, I'm really angry.
Oh, man.
I got to get this out of my system. And the TP was coming in and gets silenced. We don't get to see that, but that's why. I mean, Nuggery was already dead, but there was a chance that maybe Showmaker would be able to follow up here. I don't think so, because everybody ended up with full health after the dive. It was pretty clean from the side of Youngjae and Dudu to pick up that one, and the teleport wouldn't have mattered. And yeah, the follow-up was just chasing them around the map.
Yeah, it's decent Kingslayer damage return, but as you can see, that Eye of Kilrog, man, it's real scary. And Canyon already with the monkey in his sights. As Showmaker, the snowball is pretty real here for DAMWON.
3-0, man. This is
3-0-1, 100% kill contribution. And Nogari, 100% death contribution if you have deaths on your team.
Nice.
He is the one that you want to be dying.
He's also getting close
to
his own power spike. He's only 1 death away. So there's that too. All the power spikes are going to be hitting at around the same time.
Yep, Shirley as well is going to go down. Every single neutral objective has been taken here by DAMWON so far. They are in utter control. This is just dominance or domination, to use correct English for that particular moment. And yeah, no one's going to be able to enter a lane against this. Kassadin, Dudu has a Trinity Force. I'm not sure whether it's going to mean anything, as we are stacking mana on 3 champions on DAMWON's side.
Yeah.
We need Canyon to build his mana immune, you know? And then they're just going to all peer pressure Beryl into doing it. And Beryl's like, why isn't it doing anything?
Oh, man. I wish one team would do that one time, just like troll with items, because they're just that much better than the enemy team. I mean, you know that even when the Korean analyst desk is like even calling it out, they're like, guys, it's just a skill difference. Like,
yeah, right.
They're usually like the most, you know,
the
trying
most
to
PC,
be
the most PC, absolutely.
Trying to not hurt anybody's feelings. They'll say, oh, that was a really, you know, you guys were close, but oh, they just barely failed that team fight, as they like go in and run in an int.
Yeah, right.
So when they're saying it's a skill gap, you know it really is. And
so unfortunate that he was out of position.
Yeah,
you know,
something like that.
Explaining someone in solo queue running it down mid.
And yeah, I mean, we don't really need to highlight it too much because it's very obvious to all you very intelligent viewers as well.
Showmaker comes in, Youngjae's going to ult his way forward. Showstopper comes down though, and he's put in the grave instantly. Miro now going to get autoed down. A double kill here for Showmaker. He's very upset that everybody else has picked up kills here, but he's still going to give the thumbs up. And Dudu's running for the hills. I don't know whether this monkey's going to survive though, as Beryl's like, guys, I'm going to Hex Flash at the dragon. Let's hope I don't die. Someone come back and help me. As this is Dudu's wild ride at the moment, but Showmaker's going to catch up to him. Nogari's there as well, and that is going to be the ace. Unofficial triple kill there for Showmaker as well. 6-0-2. 700 gold bounty in 18 minutes. And yeah, Canyon better get it. He's just been playing so well.
No, I'm going to vote for Ghost, actually. I'm only here on Analyst Days to ruin LS's prediction rate.
Yeah, no, there we go. That's perfect. And Wadids as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you get
true.
2 birds with 1 stone, you may as well do it.
Nice.
That's just efficiency right there. We've got an 8,000 gold lead at 18 minutes, guys. This game's over. The series is over. But we're still going to be here, and we'll take you through what is going to be most likely a DAMWON highlight reel.
Look at this. I mean, this is the sadness of Volibear, like, against Set especially. And then we go back, and it's like, okay, Miru, I mean, nice try, but not nearly as flashy, and you're so far behind, it just doesn't matter. The second the team fight started, we knew it was already over.
Yep.
And it didn't even have to be as clean as it was by Beryl to get that perfect showstopper. And yeah.
And somehow, on top of it, I mean, total damage dealt is Kassadin in the lead by about 50%
already.
This is insane, dude. I don't know. We made some predictions on the Pog State that's going to be coming out next week, and after this week's games, I think I'm actually going to look okay.
That's good.
We had some discussions about mid lane, and I was the Showmaker fanboy, as you guys may have seen from the Champ Select.
2 interviews in a row now.
Yeah, right.
Got the Showmaker prediction correct.
Yeah, we're doing all right. It's a pretty easy prediction to make. As he dives over the wall, Youngjae could be in trouble. Sky Splitter does absolutely nothing. And Showmaker's just standing here on top of an enemy control ward and doing what he can to bait them. Yeah, exactly.
He's like, okay, guys, line up for my penta now. It's time.
Yeah, exactly. Can everyone just group? You guys group for me, please?
Guys,
Aaron is trying to pierce the heavens, makes it to the back line as Youngjae gets in there as well, but already we are diving.
There's one.
Cyclone comes down and first kill is there, but Noguri steals away the possibility of a penta. Showmaker still going to be dashing on forward. He still has a flash. Multiple rift walks. There we go. It's starting to get stacked. Viper dies. That's the double kill somehow. I think that was a triple kill, really. I'm confused. The game's confused. They don't really understand why Cassidy is able to do this. 13-1 is the kill score, and DAMWON are looking to end this game. They've got a minion wave.
Yeah, they're doing it.
Yeah, he has no Cyclone. There's 4 seconds on Youngjae. And we're looking for a sub-25-minute victory. That, my friends, is called a shellacking. Coined by my friend Spawn. And Dudu, yeah, there's nothing he's going to be able to do about this one. The police come in, they're like, oh, no. This turret is doing a bit of work, though, as Mirror's going to dive in, knocked up, destroyed.
Wait, where'd he go?
Showmaker, that's a double kill. Noguri steals another one, and the damage is just obscene. Nexus will fall, and DAMWON are coming for a Freaker's average game time on this one as the teleport from Ghost into his death. That's the
second kill by Hanwha.
He's a KDA player. He doesn't want a good KDA. You know? Come on, guys. I need to try and end my way in here. As I think you're going to have to do it, otherwise you're going to look silly, aren't you?
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't have any choice this time. My hands are tied.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chovy. Sorry, LS.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chovy still has a chance, but DAMWON have way more matches to play. I believe before this...
Look at that half-hearted fist pump. He's like, yeah. Yay, I did it.
So I think that before this series, DRX had played 2 more matches than DAMWON. So DAMWON now with, you know, a lot more to go. You were talking about it earlier on. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more matches.
No, 5 more after this.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 5 more after this. Which means a lot more opportunities for Showmaker to come through and steal away that player of the game that BDD seems to have pretty much wrapped up for himself at the moment, sitting on 1,000 points, but now only 100 behind is our friend Showmaker, assuming that he picks up player of the game. We're assuming he is. I think it's going to be unanimous.
Yeah.
As Noguri kept stealing his kills, man. I think he's probably upset. But he does get to go home very early, and that is what success looks like for Showmaker.
Yeah, Showmaker's doing his job. He's sending everybody home really quickly on both sides. And it's kind of funny where we have these games where DAMWON are so far ahead that Noguri, he's probably the best top laner in the LCK right now, but he just doesn't even have... Well, I guess in Game 1 he did, but in Game 2 he was like kind of invisible, right? Like he wasn't even needed. They didn't need a top laner. It was like they could have 4v5 kind of.
He also cancelled out the other top laner though.
True.
So that was certainly effective.
Did that.
He didn't really require Canyon to be in the area, but what I really loved was Canyon's positioning. And we saw this. It was last year, I believe it was Kesper Cup, when Canyon was making his debut, and we were talking up how good he was at pathing around the map, understanding where he needs to be at different times. And that Canyon is well and truly back.
Like in Game 1,
he
where
left
he
last year.
for his positioning.
He did get 1 vote, Valdez.
Yeah, from me.
Yeah.
Nobody agreed with me, like not even one person.
Not even me.
Fair enough.
Oh dear. But this was exactly what we expected out of DAMWON. I don't think this should make Hanwha Life feel too sad, but they've got a really rough run. I think they still have DRX to face. I believe that's going to be one of DRX's last matches.
Yes.
As, that is really not what you want. As we're going to have a look at some of these highlights. Feels a little bit like lowlights, but honestly, Youngjae wasn't allowed to play the game. He got his face broken and no option.
After the game, they put him on camera and he just kind of had the same smile he had on in the beginning. It's like he's just happy to participate, you know?
Yeah.
I think he knew that there was not much hope. Like, he tried his best. He had this good moments, right, where they were able to gank Nuguri. And it's kind of just Nuguri and Volibear things. But, I mean, good positioning, good timing by him to be in the right place there. But that was about it that we saw out of him. Everything else was just Showmaker running around. He was like trying to complete the any % of how many kills can you get under a certain amount of time in pro play.
On Kassadin.
Yeah, on Kassadin. I think he did a pretty good job there.
Yeah. I love Beryl walking into the ult so that he could get a better angle on his showstopper, by the way. That's called a mana play, 100%. But this game was, yeah. They weren't even able to get their Infernal Soul because the game ended.
Kassadin didn't even get level 16.
Yeah.
We didn't even hit that power spike either. And Showmaker wasn't calling for the Penta, for what I could tell.
No, he just wants to go home. Oh, God, the damage is just despicable.
They're like, yeah, I think we can end.
I think we can.
Yeah,
looking at the top of the screen at the 11,000 gold lead. Ghost just said he didn't have something. Not sure what that is. My Korean not quite good enough yet, but at least I know.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused. It sounded like 3 different things. I'm like, maybe he's just saying I'm going to take the teleport. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah, maybe.
Calling for towers. Let's fight. Tower and then fight. Where did Mirror go? He's not even existing.
Where did Viper go? Where did all of them go?
Ghost is like, what the hell, guys? Where's my backup?
Yeah, where's my backup, boys? What the hell is that damage? This is not what Kassadin at 21 minutes is supposed to look like. What the hell?
Yeah.
He doubled the damage of a Jace.
Only in the hands of Showmaker against Hanwha Life, I suppose. The bottom lane wasn't able to do anything. DAMWON is just too strong on the top side of the map, so even though Hanwha got ahead in the bottom lane, it was like, well, now we're just going to gank the bottom lane and shut that down, and then we're going to go top lane and then shut that down, and then the game was over at 21 minutes.
I actually felt like it was more like over at 4 minutes as soon as Kassadin
well,
got the double buffs, but he's going to pick up another one. 900 points now for Showmaker, 10 out of 12, as I believe Media may have let us down. Yeah. Oh, sorry, no.
Two
mid.
No, it's not.
Never mind. Yeah, so there's 2 Canyon votes there as well. Or Canyon votes from last time. But a couple of Canyon votes came in from the Korean casters. But this time the media have figured themselves out. They knew which one to pick. As, yeah, I mean, you don't even need to look at the damage graph. You just look at part of the game, and the Kassadin was winning the game by himself, actually. The rest of the team were playing well, right? But they didn't have to. They didn't have to.
I was surprised that Canyon got more votes in this game when I would have given Beryl the second hog.
Yeah, right.
After Showmaker. Like, Canyon was in the right place after Youngjae walked into him, right? I think he did a lot more in game 1, but that's neither here nor there, as Showmaker is going to get within 1 of BDD.
Yeah, this is scary. I mean, BDD knows Showmaker's coming for him. Remember, they are facing off against one another in DAMWON's next match. It's going to be coming up next week. That is certainly going to be the one to watch. We have, like, these super hype matchups, and they're really starting to come together towards the end of the season.
Again.
Yeah, so it's going to be UNLS taking us through Gen G versus DAMWON, and this is going to be the real test to see whether DAMWON can break that SKT record of getting to plus 30 points.
They have to 2-0 everybody, including Gen G, including T1, and the other 3 teams. And I think they can. I'm feeling it right now. I think they actually will.
They've not, in every single game, they've always 2-0'd. But let's go to the interview here with Showmaker.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Season with the translation, and let's hear from the solo POG Showmaker from DWG Gaming. Congratulations on the win. The bus ride was real. How do you feel? In game number 1, there was some mistakes, but we were able to close it out really quickly. I guess, yeah, there were some of the mistakes that kind of make Showmaker feel less satisfied than before, but you are the solo POG of tonight, and you are so close to reaching the first place. Well, I don't really care much about the POG standings. I just care about my team winning. Let's talk about the pick and bans today. You guys were super generous, opening some of the favorite picks over to Hanwha Esports. For example, Galio. I mean, we thought that we can definitely play into Galio. We knew that they prefer Galio a lot, and we had everything expected. So I just wanted to play it into really well with Silas pick. Were you guys also looking for that kind of mind game with Silas? Well, kind of, and just we completed our drafts all throughout the pick and bans. We didn't really come in straight for the Silas mid. In game number 1, both Hanwha Life Esports and DAMWON Gaming looked kind of emotional. Did you guys have that confidence that you will be the one winning all the fights in the end? I mean, we are always quite confident, but that was just like mistakes. And I will do my best to kind of get rid of those kind of mistakes. Despite some of the mistakes that DAMWON Gaming has been making, you guys are always able to kind of close out the game. I mean, after one certain situation is over, we always think what to play next. And I think that's the strength of all the players on the side of DAMWON Gaming. And as we mentioned, we think that 2020 DAMWON Gaming is really like the 2018 IG. What are your thoughts on that? Well, 2018 IG, I mean, they were like so good. So I'm not really sure. I guess that's a really nice compliment. But I mean, Rookie, he's like unreachable player. So I don't think that's true. Well, Showmaker, I guess he has a huge respect over to Rookie. And moving on to game number 2, Youngjae stepped in on the side of Hanwha Life Esports. Well, yeah, yesterday we were discussing who's gonna play as jungler in Hanwha Life Esports, and Kenyon actually said tomorrow it's gonna be Youngjae. And as we heard that he's subbing in game number 2, we were really surprised. But in game, we weren't too afraid of him. What did Kenyon say about it? Well, as the referee told us, Youngjae is subbing in, he was like, see, told ya. I guess Kenyon is really good at predicting because he also had some pop-up game on Karsus in the jungle last time. And there was also another pocket pick coming out from Lihan, Soraka. I mean, she's really good at laning phase, but in the later phase, she's not that good, so we kind of said that let's hang on during the lane phase. Showmaker. Well, mostly Kassadin actually max Q, but you are going really aggressively with max E. Well, sometimes, I mean, usually I go for fleet footwork and I always look for the late game maxing Q, but I saw Doinbi actually going for the Ultimate Hunter and also looking for a lot of engages with his different build. So I tried to kind of follow his playstyle. Well, speaking of Doinbi, he actually mentioned about you that you guys are strong at scrims. And you know, there's this Doinbi curse thing going on, but you guys managed to get a win. I mean, I really appreciate his compliment, but yeah, I heard that he jinxed all the teams. So I was a little bit afraid, and we will do our best to not get cursed. And I also think that FPX is doing a fantastic job. Weren't you a bit afraid when Doinbi mentioned you guys? I mean, that was a compliment, so I thought that we have to keep working really hard. Kassadin came in game number 2, and which is your favorite pick. So let's take a look at the highlight. This counter gank was so significant. Did you guys predict it? Not really, but we were just playing accordingly to the situation. So we were like, Volibear is here, so we weren't like we were looking for that specific fight. We were just like adapting to a given situation. That was really significant because had that not happened, actually had Hanwha Life Esports pulled up that gang cleanly, maybe even the bottom duos would be suffering after that gang. And also the K-pop star Sunmi said she's a huge fan of you. She posted a selfie with your jersey on. I mean, that's gonna be a huge motivation of my life, I'm pretty sure. Any message over to Sunmi? Fighting! Your next opponent is Genji, and you have to take them down in order to claim that first place spot. Well, I mean, I believe that our fans are really disappointed by us after we lost to Genji. But because we got a revenge up against DRX, we want to repeat it up against Genji as well. So this will be the end of the interview with Showmaker from DAMWON Gaming, picking up 2-0 win up against Hanwha Life Esports. And Showmaker is the current leader of POG on the side of DAMWON Gaming. And let's check out the updated rankings here in the LCK.
Thank you so much, Ji-sun, for the interview translation. Pretty long one there with Showmaker, making sure they get to the bottom of everything as DAMWON locking down second place, and their match against Genji is so important. I mean, that'll guarantee second place at least for DAMWON. And if DRX, if they drop anything, I mean, actually, to be perfectly honest, I think that DAMWON will be first, because I don't know how anyone is supposed to get to DAMWON's point score. It's just insanity. The only games that they've lost are in the matches that they lost. It's been 2-0s every single other time. They are very good at it, and that 30 points is going to be available. But guys, you're going to be able to like learn a trade skill if you want to, finish a novel. We've got a very long break, but when we get back, T1 versus Sandbox. We'll see you there.